Hello, everyone. It's me again coming to you with another video. I want to discuss scams. Scams and scammers are around, have been around since the beginning of time. These are the people who are looking for an easy way out in every single situation of their life. And it could be numerous reasons as to why they are that way. But if you're the type of person that's trying to make it through this thing called life the best way you can, you learn your lessons from your mistakes and you try your best to avoid making any more, and you're just trying to make it day by day, the scammers don't have much in common with you because, see, you're trying to make it through life and they're not. And it's not your job to try to psychoanalyze and play armchair to someone who is clearly making a fool out of you. It's not your job to try to fix or do something to correct the situation, um, and it's actually the creator's job. And you have to understand, just because you're a loving husband, a loving wife, or whatever the case may be, and you have a partner who just doesn't get it, who is always looking for an easy way out and not making any effort to change, but you're doing all the hard work, don't expect anything else. You're going to be constantly fussing. You're going to be constantly complaining, and you're going to be constantly overworked and overstressed. And eventually, over a period of time, it's going to manifest itself in mental health problems and physical health problems that are irreversible. And that partner that you have is still going to be going around doing the same shit they were doing 5 years before, 10 years before, 15 years before, 20 years before, because they hadn't learned their lesson. Now, let me just go ahead and give this disclaimer right now. People can change, but they're going to want to do it. And if they want to do it and make the effort, first of all, they're not going to try to make others around them uh, help them with the situation. They're going to try to do it themselves. They're going to do all the work by themselves. They're not going to try to manipulate everybody else to make them change. Because in truth, that's not change, that's manipulation. It's okay if you see someone that is trying to change and you want to offer some help, that's fine. But don't take on the entire burden, because that's not your responsibility. And a lot of you are doing that. You see that someone has changed in one aspect of their life, and you're getting so excited about it because you're thinking things are going to be for the better, that the two of you are going to go dancing off into the lavender fields, into the sunset. But the thing is, they've only changed one character flaw when they had 9 or 10 of them that caused the deterioration of the relationship. So you're getting so excited over that one thing that they changed that you're just going to assume that the other 8 are going to be solved. It doesn't work that way. So because of your excitement, you're blinded by this because you still care about this person, whether it's a relative or whether it's a lover or a friend or whatever the case may be. You get so excited that they corrected this one thing out of 9 that you decide, okay, I'm going to offer your help. And your help turns into slavery because you wind up doing all the work for them. I'm going to let that sink in, because a lot of you are doing it right now. Let me give you a case in point, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to try to keep this a short one. Let's say that you were involved in a marriage, and I use marriage because that's a more permanent institution of relationship for a lot of people. Let's say you've been living together, or you're married and you've been together, let's say 15 years, just a roundabout number. You're in love with that person, but you know when you first got involved with them that they had a, let's say what the problem, I'll say drinking problem. Okay. And when I say drinking problem, I mean I'm talking about beer and cornflakes with whiskey in the coffee, and then middle of the day they've got a cup or a glass, and then at lunchtime with their sub sandwich and their chips they got to have a beer, and then at 3 o'clock they've got to have another shot. I'm talking about people who are chronic alcoholics, and they do it every single day. Well, you know that's a problem. You're the person that, you might be a social drinker, or you might not drink at all, and you don't deal with that. The problem with that is, with that person having that type of habit, number one, it's expensive. Liquor costs money. Number two, it promotes health problems. It causes disturbance in sleep if you're drinking that much alcohol, causes kidney problems and liver problems. It affects the reproductive system over a period of time in both men and women. It causes skin problems where it dries out. It takes the moisture, natural moisture, out of the skin, causing the skin to be very dry, wrinkled, very thin. It poisons the blood vessels. I mean, there's just a list of problems. There's at least 20 or 30 different problems associated with it. Nerve damage, muscle damage, um, possible, what is it I want to say? Problems with eyesight, like with the five senses. Sense of taste is altered because it's, you drinking alcohol all the time. Vision problems, that's another common one. There's so many things associated with it. So that's the physical aspect of what alcohol does. Now, I've already told you the economic aspect is that, there's extra money that could be used in the household for other things, and it's being spent on alcohol. The third thing that could be affected by alcohol, how people deal with people in relationships. You have happy drunks, and you have angry drunks, and you have drunk drunks. Person's attitudes change when they drink. So you're stuck with the uncertainty from day to day of when that person leaves the house, what position are they going to be in, and what attitude are they going to have when they come home. You don't know. Having that level of uncertainty threatens the security that you feel in that relationship. You don't feel secure in your household. You don't feel secure around that person. If you have children, they're being exposed to it. In some cases, the children have a bit of trauma to the point where they either they distance themselves and develop mental health problems behind it, or unfortunately, a lot of them will pattern their behavior after the parent because they see the other parent still tolerates it, and they figure, well, if it's tolerated, it must be okay. And then the kids start following suit and doing the same thing, the excessive drinking as well. So then you got two alcoholics in the household. Okay. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Okay, so let's just say some years pass and this person gets a diagnosis, and now they've got to take medication because they've got kidney disease or renal failure. Well, they call it renal failure. Or they have a problem with this, skin allergies, or digestive problems is another one. So now they have to have an altered diet, and they have to take medication, or they could have had some kind of attack like a stroke or something like that. But anyway, it debilitated and reduced their physical capacity. They can't rip and run as much as they want to. That's a problem because now they can't participate and be as active and offer as much strength to the situation as they could. So they realize this, and then over a period of time, they figure, well, I need to slow down. Yes, they need to slow down because they're made to slow down. But the problem is in your mind, because you see that they've slowed down. Okay, they're coming home all the time. They're doing everything they need to do around the house and everything else. And, they can't drink anymore. So the attitude is steady. You as the partner get so excited over the fact that that one thing has slowed them down that you think that all the other faults that they have are going to disappear as well, and it doesn't happen. So here it is 5 years after the diagnosis, and your relationship is still not good. And you're wondering why it's still not good. Because, see, drinking was just one problem. This person could have been a serial cheater. They could have been a gambler. They could have been an abuser. But because they addressed that one thing with the drinking, whether it was their choice or whether it was, something that was thrown upon them, you think because they slowed down in the area of drinking that they addressed all the other problems, but they didn't. And you have turned a blind eye to the other faults. And you're still waiting day by day, praying and meditating and sprinkling water and oil and grounding and putting salt in the corners of your house or whatever it is that people do, and sprinkling herbs and everything else, thinking that everything is wonderful, and it's not, because those other traits have not been addressed. Those other behaviors have not been addressed. And now you're still miserable, and you're thinking, oh, well, God hasn't answered my prayers. Maybe he's got other things to do. Maybe I'm sinning, this, that, and the other. No, you were expecting too much from one thing out of 9 that needed to be addressed. You thought that was just going to erase everything, and it didn't. So I say this to say this: if a person is in a situation where they choose to change or they have to change because something has happened, it's a long process. It's not just that one habit or characteristic that they have. They've got to address the who, what, when, where, and why. And a lot of people don't do that. And the people around them figure, oh, well, if only they quit drinking, everything will be perfect. No, because see, you don't understand the who, what, when, where, and why they started in the first place. See, there could be some character situations, some trauma, things like that. This is where professional help comes in. And I know you hear me say that all the time, but it's true. There are people who have taken the time to study psychology and neurology and all these different things, and they have become experts, being exposed, working in the field. You have not. Your love and your presence just is not all this person needs. This person needs a little bit more. They need professional help. You too need to go to counseling and hash this shit out. That person needs to go and find out why they're putting this poison in their body all the time. And until that happens, you're going to be stuck in this dead zone. That's where you're going to be stuck. And it's not going to change for you, and it's not going to get better. You have to face things, for what they are. And you also have to accept the fact that your love alone is not going to fix every single thing that's going on in your partner. There's some jobs that only the Creator can do, no matter how much you love them. And you have to back off and let the Creator do it. No, don't start a prayer tree and have somebody coming in sprinkling the oil and the meditation. No, keep your mouth shut, back off, and let the Creator do what they need to do. Sometimes we got to do that. There's a phrase that's called "let go and let God," but a lot of people ain't doing it. They're not doing it. Because they'll turn around and say, let go and let God, hang up the phone, get off Facebook or whatever it is, and turn around and recruit as many people as they can, telling all their business, saying, I need for you to pray for so-and-so. I need for you to pray. I need for you to spray the herbs and do the sage and do the water and do the oil. And I need for you to come to this ceremony and this, that, and the other on behalf of so-and-so. Didn't you just get through saying, let go and let God? Once you say that and you mean it, leave it the fuck alone and let the Creator do what he's supposed to do. He, she, whatever pronoun you choose to use. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope that this helps somebody, because my grandmother told me a long time ago, this sounds negative, but she said bad spirit will rub off on you before a good one will. And unfortunately, that's true. You can't fight this battle all by yourself. We can only do so much as humans. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Have a great day.